So I'm California sober, as they say, and lately I can't find no other way. I can't stay out and party like I did back in the day. So I'm California sober, as they say. I'll pick it, Willie.
Well, I heard out in the hills, they got pills to get their thrills, and they love their liquor down in New Orleans. Maybe far
We're starting in a couple minutes. Thanks for hanging out.
but in no time flat, you're out of what you need. The old crew don't get together anymore these days much ever, and some went straight and some went straight to jail. Now they're busy posting viz and just trying to raise their kids to the raising holy hell and posting bail.
Well, I'm California sober, as they say, and lately I can't find no other way. I can't stay out and party like I did back in the day. So I'm California sober, as they say. Passes by, I don't even bat my coat.
Well, I heard out in the hills, they got pills to get their thrills, and they love their liquor down in New Orleans. Maybe far out New York minute, sugar cane will fit the bill, but in no time flat, you're out of what you need. The old crew don't get together anymore these days much ever, and some went straight and some went straight to jail. Now they're busy posting viz and just trying to raise their kids to the raising holy hell and posting bail.
Well, I'm California sober, as they say, and lately I can't find no other way. I can't stay out and party like I did back in the day. So I'm California sober, as they say.
We're starting real soon. We're starting real soon. Thanks for hanging out. Let's turn that up a little. There you go. That sounds a little better, right? Oh yeah, Billy Strings. Bluegrass has some of the best guitarists on the planet.
I was California sober till I thought the world was over. Now I'm sitting on the roadside once again. When that wagon passes by, I don't even bat an eye, 'cause the devil on my shoulder always wins. When that old wagon passes by, I don't even bat an eye,
and gentlemen, we're about to start here in just a moment. We're going to start in just a few more moments. Don't you worry. Here we go. I'm surprised the thing didn't just boot me because I had old Billy Strangs playing. Here we go. Sanford Sit Down. Episode 7. Episode 3 of the food review. So, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 seconds. Brought to you by Mad Voice and Data Consulting for Business. Call Patrick Antonio at 407-283-7832 or email him at patrick@madvoicedata.com. Sanford, Florida, where the past and present dance like a jitterbug on the St. Johns River. Founded in 1877 by Henry Sanford, this city was once the celery capital of the world. Its fields feeding the nation, steamboats puffed along the river bringing settlers and goods to this bustling hub. By the roaring 20s, the town thrived and the Grand Hotel Forest stood tall until scandal saw it shuttered. But like a phoenix, it rose again as the Mayfair Inn, welcoming baseball greats and high society. As decades passed, Sanford weathered storms, booms, and busts, but its heart never wavered. Today, with a lively downtown, craft breweries, and a nod to its rich history, Sanford stands proud with a charming blend of old Florida grit and new Florida flair. And it's with that spirit that we give you the Sanford Sit Down.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the Sanford Sit Down. I'm DJ Zwain. Brought to you live from the N.FM. We still have to update that website. The N.FM. That's where I put all my podcasts and stuff like that, but I've been kind of bad about it recently. So there's that. It sounds kind of strange. It sounds kind of echoey, I think. I don't know. There's something going on, but I think that you probably aren't hearing it. Let's just hope. Let's just hope. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of the Sanford Sit Down, a show that I do all about the city of Sanford. And we also have the Sanford Sit Down food review. We are reviewing Maya Rosa today. Maya Rosa's food review. We did it yesterday. It's been recorded. It's been shot, and at the end of the show, we will have the food review. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. Pretty excited about that. There's also a few other things. Like I said, this show is about the good, the bad, the ugly of Sanford. So we talk about it all. I don't like to. I don't like it to be just a glaze piece. And because this is a town like any other town that has its ups and downs. I'm starting to sound like a poet, and that's weird. Let's not do that anymore. So, yeah, so we have some... there is a high probability that the first... and by the way, shout out to Mad Voice and Data Consulting for Business. Shout out to Patrick Antonio. He is the homie. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Yeah, sorry. I mean, we did it at the top of the show, but I also like to shout him out. Anyway, not the point. Sanford is a town that has a past, and there is a high probability that the first time you heard about Sanford, if you are not from here, if you're not from Central Florida, if you're not from Florida, was probably the Trayvon Martin case. And today marks 14 years since Trayvon Martin passed away at the hands of George Zimmerman. So there was apparently earlier this month there was a walk, like a peace walk that was happening. This is out of NBC News NBC News 6. Let's see here.
Trayvon Martin, who was shot and killed, hundreds across South Florida marched today to remember Miami Gardens teen Trayvon Martin, who was shot and killed 14 years ago. The Trayvon Martin Foundation hosted the annual Peace Walk and Talk in his honor. NBC6's Brianna Nesbra was there and joins us with their message.
Walking in solidarity Saturday for Trayvon Martin.
Say his name, Trayvon Martin. Say his name, Trayvon.
The 17-year-old's life was cut short 14 years ago when he was shot and killed near Orlando after a fight with an armed neighborhood watchman.
Trayvon had a right to walk in peace without being followed, chased, profiled, or murdered. And so we send that clear message to the world.
His parents, Sabrina Fulton and Tracy Martin, leading the charge.
It's just an unfortunate that we were thrust into this position. And since we've been thrust in this position, we just try our best to do what's right for the community.
Hundreds of people walked a mile in Miami Gardens to promote peace and unity while advocating against gun violence. Joining the Peace Walk, Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava.
Here we are because, you know what, the violence in the streets has not stopped. Unfortunately, the wrong people have guns and they're using them in bad ways.
And Miami Gardens Mayor Rodney Harris.
I would just tell our residents, let's continue to love each other, let's continue to support each other, stand by each other, and just understand that we are hospitable people here in the city of Miami Gardens, and we love everybody.
But it's this message, still standing, still strong, with this quote from Trayvon's mom, that his death will not separate her from the love she has for him, that hopes to ignite change. I also want to mention Thursday, February 5th, would have been Trayvon Martin's 31st birthday. In Miami Gardens, I'm Brianna Nesbra, NBC6 News.
So yeah, that is usually the first time that people hear about us, about the city of Sanford, and it's sad that that's the case. But you know, we're known for a lot more stuff. This is just a tragic day that I feel like we need to acknowledge. I personally was on the radio at the time, and I was on the radio with a conservative radio station. And even the conservative, the black conservative host, the white conservative host was a lot more nonchalant about it. Anyway, I'm not going to name any names, but I used to work for them. You could probably figure it out. Anyway, there was a lot of, even in the conservative circles, this was crazy at first, and then they started getting their narrative together, and then he became a conservative hero. Well, I will have you know that there have been some reports that show that George Zimmerman is without employment, homeless, and finding it challenging to achieve peace after being painted as a villain by the media. He says that he was being painted as a villain by my guy, you shot a kid. You shot a kid. I think his wife, or his ex-wife, I guess, went to Lake Mary High School with my little brother, which is small town shit. I mean, of course, he lived in the area. And yeah, this was a clear racist dude killing a kid, killing a child, right down the street from where I'm doing this very podcast, right down the street from where I DJ every week, right down the street from where I talk about all of these wonderful restaurants and wonderful events that go on, like Porch Fest, which we're going to be talking about a little later. But like all of these events, all of these things that are happened while, like the bad stuff that was happening, Trayvon Martin and all of that stuff was happening, but also the good stuff was happening at the same time in this town. So when you think of Sanford, yes, remember Trayvon Martin, obviously. Yes, think about, what his legacy, leaves as far as gun violence and knowing your neighbors and not being racist. So, yes, but aside from that, we have so much good stuff, which is not going to be the next story. The next story is also a bad one because we're getting through the bad ones and then we're going into the good ones, okay? Just bear with me here, okay? The next story is not a great story, but this one also. But I felt like it needed to be acknowledged. I felt like that is a, like it's a somber time for us here in Sanford, and I think that it is wise for us to acknowledge what happened and, do better as a community. Do better as a community, because this guy, while he's getting his right now, this Zimmerman character, while he's getting his right now, he was still paraded as a darling of the conservative movement, of the gun rights movement, or whatever you want to call it. So, the very selective gun rights movement, I guess you could say. So yeah, this next story, like I said, is not going to be a good one either. But I promise we're going to get to the good stories after this one. After this one, I promise you at least 2 good stories. How about that? Okay. Deal? Deal. So, the next story that we have here is homeless student allegedly endured SA by teacher because he needed food and a place to live. Mackenzie McLean, 49, is being held on $35,000 bond in Seminole County Jail following her arrest on February 17th. Wow. So she had a homeless student from her economics class move into her Florida home in March 2024. The student alleged that shortly after moving in, he was given 12 shots of gin. Ew, gin. Ugh. Anyway, that's not the problem. That's not the headline. But really, gin, dude? Really? Ugh. Anyway, 12 shots of gin, who then allegedly pulled his pants down and sexually abused him. So, yeah, not great. When he asked why he allowed it to continue for months, which is, what the hell? Why do you ask that? He's a child. He's a student. He's not. I guess they really work out the wording. They say student, but he wasn't a child. He was I guess 18. Not that it makes it much better or any better, but yeah, like that's why they're saying it that way. But this person apparently was like the student. Can you? Wow. In the economics class, they're in the same class, like the student teacher. That's wild. That is wild. Apparently the daughter, the teacher's daughter was the one that felt like something was amiss. And yeah, that's, oh my God. So anyway, yeah, what is with these teachers? What is with these teachers? This is the second time we talk about teachers being, doing this to students recently. Like, I know this has been a thing at some point, and but this is like, I feel like it's happening more right now. And I mean, this is also a testament on the housing crisis, because, there is also that obvious thing. But yeah, like I said before, we have we have good, we have bad, we have ugly, but we have good. We have good here in town. And so we're going to be talking about that. One of the good things that was just announced is Dolly Parton themed flight. A Dolly Parton themed flight from Orlando, or from Sanford to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is, I guess, where Dollywood is. So yeah, this is actually, it's kind of sweet. So shout out to the Orlando Sanford International Airport. I guess I don't know how that all works out. I don't know if it's like the airport that says this thing, or if it's Allegiant that's doing this event. Either way, very cool. I like Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is a G, so she always gets my love. Let's see here. So flying 925, that's hilarious. Allegiant launching a Dolly Parton themed flight from Sanford. Here's what it includes. The special flight takes off one night only, November 6th. Let's see here. I wonder if November 6th is a particularly, special date. Maybe it's like her birthday or something. I don't know. Allegiant Air's launching a one day only Dollywood themed flight this November, and it departs this fall from Orlando Sanford International Airport. Passengers headed to Knoxville will board the specially numbered Flight 925, a spin on Parton's massive hit song 925, of course. The flight features live entertainment, trivia, and themed food and drinks. If you're also headed to Dollywood, you'll score discounts and bonus park experiences, so a singular bonus park experience the next day. Let's see here. The special flight takes off November 6th. Let's see. Oh no, that's a different story. But yeah, that's kind of cool, It's gimmicky, but I dig it. And if it gets more eyeballs to Sanford and the Orlando Sanford International Airport, shout out Raul out there. Yeah, if it gets more people to think about Sanford, maybe the people from Knoxville can come back down. Maybe Dolly Parton can come back down and hang out. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good thing. See, told you, good things also happening here in Sanford. Not just the bad things, not just the Trayvon Martins, not just the homeless student essay. Anyway, not the point. Listen, we have more good things happening. And one of the staples of this town, as far as this town is a food town, this town is a music town. There's always something going on. There's always an event. There's always some food truck event going on. And so this town is known for a lot of that, and also for a little thing called Porch Fest. Porch Fest is an event that we have had in this town for so long that it's been a few years, but it feels like it's been so long because of the amount of people that attend. The level of community activity that night. You can't. This place is a golf cart town. You could not drive a golf cart through there. It just won't happen. People will gather in front of porches and listen to some of the best music around. You have all kinds of bands, all kinds of genres. You have people that have residencies around town that are playing music there. It's a very communal event that brings in people from the outside to the point that now it's become there's copycats around the country. So we've had a good run with events and with stuff like that. I remember an article that I read a while back that was talking about how Sanford is becoming a winter garden or something like that. Something where it was like we were the little brother, and I was like, bitch, please, are you serious? Have you looked around? And this is in the middle of 2023 or 2024, where it happened. There's a lot happening here, and they were like, oh yeah, look at them growing. You haven't been paying attention. That's what that tells me. You're a journalist who has not been paying attention to the local scenes going on. So anyway, let's actually watch Fox 35 did a cool piece about Porch Fest. So let's take a look at that here.
The annual event coming up in February has been got a Fox 35 News update on Porch Fest in Sanford. The annual event coming up in February has been canceled for next year.
As Fox 35's Marie Ettinger found out, this is a huge blow to local businesses who usually see a spike in sales from that event.
The nonprofit that puts Porch Fest together emphasized this is not goodbye. They're just taking a little break. For years on end, the fourth Saturday of each February has been filled with music hosted out of downtown Sanford homes. But in 2026, Central Florida's favorite free music festival is taking a break.
It's been the thing that people love every year, so definitely disappointing to hear that.
Sanford business owners are even more disappointed.
We do a tremendous amount of business on that Saturday, which is so helpful to us.
And to be clear, this won't be a big enough hit to sink local businesses. For instance, I heard plenty of this when I chatted with people downtown about Porch Fest.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I never heard that before, but I love music and that sounds cool.
But Porch Fest has skyrocketed in popularity. When the festival first started in Sanford, it had 600 attendees and raised $1,000. Last year, 74 bands played for 35,000 people. The festival raised $70,000 for youth arts programs and fine arts scholarships.
It was really cool.
Porch Fest's organizers said delays in finalizing logistics with the necessary parties and the need for a unified plan to sustain the festival's future have made it impossible to move forward and deliver the level of magic as we've grown to expect. Rather than compromise the integrity and quality of the experience, we believe it is best to pause, reflect, and work toward building a stronger foundation for the years ahead. When Porch Fest comes back in February of 2027, that'll have been 10 years since their first event. In Sanford, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
I knew that it was like around 10 years, and this is actually the video that they just came out with. Fox 35 just came out with announcing this weekend's event, which is the Sanford Porch Fest fundraiser, happening all around different bars in Sanford, West End. I'm going to be DJing actually at West End on Saturday night, so yeah, come out to Porch Fest, hang out, and then come out to West End and catch me DJing.
We have three guests, actually, Jess. So this is awesome. A Central Florida favorite could be making a comeback this year, and here's why. There's a major push to bring Porch Fest back to Sanford. This annual event, it features, of course, local musicians playing on the front porches of historic homes in that beautiful city. And it took place every February, but it was canceled this year. It's going to be back in 2027, though, in full force. And coming up this weekend, you can actually attend a concert to help raise money to make this the best Porch Fest yet. And joining us this morning, we have three guests with us that are in support of Porch Fest, of course. We got Shelly Ann Allen. She is the co-founder of Sanford Porch Fest.
Yeah.
We got Joshua Snyder here, a performer at Porch Fest, and Dan Ping as well, right in the middle, the executive director of Sanford Main Street. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
So Shelly, you're one of the founders of Porch Fest. This tradition goes back a long time.
Yeah, we were nearing our, this February would have been our 9th year, our 9th festival, but the nonprofit has been established since 2017. So it was established by 4 women. It is completely volunteer ran, and for those who have never been to Porch Fest, it donates 100% of our proceeds back to the community in the form of youth art programming, sponsorships of tuition and scholarships, as well as covering tuition for art-based programming for students who wouldn't normally have the access to.
Amazing efforts.
Yeah.
Now, Shelly, what was the road bump that you all hit that you decided to take off for a year?
Sure. So as a volunteer-based event, we volunteer our time year-round, and as the event started to grow, we started to realize that some logistics needed to be amped up. And you know, we all have full-time jobs year-round. We plan this event year-round. So in order to kind of take a step back and see how can we accommodate 30,000 people in Sanford in a way that is safe for all, safe for our residents, and still a good time. So we really needed a year off to kind of reevaluate how we approach the event and come back stronger.
30,000 people. That is how popular Porch Fest is.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, you're coming into support too with downtown Sanford especially. So why do you think this is so vital to keep this going and make this fundraiser happen?
Well, Main Street is built on 4 main principles, and one of those principles is economic vitality. When Porch Fest happens, it is the largest single day for many of our businesses downtown. So when it's not around, that has an impact on those businesses and our ability to have a strong economic downtown. So we thought it was really important to get involved and really support our friends over at Porch Fest.
You know, I was doing a little research and I saw that poster that you all created for the event this weekend. There are a lot of businesses on there, Dan. So who's going to be out there and have those musicians brought into their restaurants and their bars this weekend?
So we've got 19 different businesses downtown, and it's interesting. Josh actually came up with this idea and this program, and we thought we were going to have 4 businesses, and once we put the save the date out there to say, hey, we're doing this, all the other businesses were like, hey, how about me? How about me? Can I join in?
Really?
And it's really important because those businesses are making a donation to the Porch Fest Foundation to be a part of this. So
that's awesome.
They're not just bringing musicians in, they're actually speaking with their wallets.
Wow, this is a story of community then. Incredible. You went from 4 to 19. So Josh, tell me a little bit about the musicians that you're going to see, and you're actually one of them.
I am, yeah. I'm the lead singer of a band called the Smoking Jackets. We've played at almost every Porch Fest there's been, and for a lot of bands in Central Florida, you mark your calendar every year for the 4th Saturday, and we all had a big hole in our calendars, and so we've got over 60 artists who are going to come out and perform, and some of Central Florida's greatest acts, and we can't wait to be there.
What a beautiful thing. This sounds kind of like a mini Porch Fest to me. I don't want to say it, but
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's a modified Porch Fest. I mean, instead of having the bands on the
Bar
porches
Fest
of these beautiful historic homes, they're going to be in our downtown historic businesses.
All right, Josh,
Bar Fest. I think they should call it Bar Fest.
You're going to be singing this weekend. What are you going to be blaring this week?
I guess I'll go with "Born to Run" by Bruce Springsteen. We've got a tribute coming up to Bruce Springsteen, and I've been working on a lot of his tunes, so that's going to be the top of the list.
All right, you can't go wrong with that. Now, Shelly, are you a musician yourself? I got to ask because you were the co-founder.
Absolutely not. Okay. Those who can't organize.
So I won't ask you to sing right now or anything like that? Okay, got it. But you were the co-founder of this since, again, 2017, so this has been a long time.
Yeah.
Why do you think music is so important to Sanford?
I think music's important anywhere. I think music is the one language we can all understand, and you know, we've always said that Porch Fest is an event for the community, by the community, and this fundraiser event is a testament to that.
And finally, Dan, I want to ask you to give a message out there to the community. Who's invited?
Everybody's invited. We want everybody to come in and enjoy our downtown. The weather's going to be a lot warmer, so that should be nice.
Yeah, and we also hear that even if it's not, you know, totally rain-free, it's still going to be a great event because you can go inside the bars and restaurants too.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, and we'll be watching with Jess and Brooks on that forecast too, just so you know. All right, one more time, if people want to go to Porch Fest, what date and time are we going?
Starts this Saturday, February 28th. The bands start playing at noon at the different venues and go through until about 11:30 at night.
Great, and you're going to hear Bruce Springsteen one more time.
Nice. And then they also have, if you go to Sanford Porch Fest, or Sanford Loves Porch Fest, you can find the event there. You can take a look at all of the, well, you're not going to be able to see it there. That's going to be way too small. So yeah, that's gonna be happening this weekend. You're gonna want to check that out. Like I said, great community event. I didn't know the part about them having the bars having to shell out cash to have the event or have the bands there. I think that's awesome. The bands are donating their time. This is just a really cool get together for everybody in Central Florida, but you know, hosted by us, hosted by locals. So shout out to Shelly and Dan and Josh for doing what they're doing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have one more thing that we need to go and check out, and that is episode 3 of the Sanford Sit-Down Food Review. So here we go. Shout out Maya Rosa.
Sanford Sit-Down Food Review, episode 3, and today we're reviewing Maya Rosa.
Full disclosure, I played a small part in having Maya Rosa at this location years ago, and I am so glad I did. Miguel's an old friend of the family, and he happened to call me when I was working on marketing and production for West End and their sister bars. He asked me if I knew of any places that were open for him to bring his delicious food truck into a brick and mortar in downtown Sanford. At the time, Paul happened to be looking for someone to fill a kitchen with some great food, the connection was made, and the rest was history. I went with 3 beef tacos and the panko crusted fish.
Now, these guys recently started doing lunch, and they're located inside Wild Wild West End. Wild Wild West End is the sister bar to West End Trading Company, where you could actually see me DJ there on Saturdays. So today I ordered the 3 beef tacos, which I knew were going to be good, and the one thing that I haven't had, which I really wanted to try, which is their breaded fish. I don't remember what it's called.
I said it was the panko crusted fish.
We're actually going to move locations because there's people around here, and I just want to be able to review it, and I want to review it at another one of the scenic places that Sanford has to offer. Now, like I said, I got the 3 beef tacos, which I knew I was going to like, and I got the fish that I have not had. So I kind of already know what I'm in for. I'll put the name of the dish in the voiceover.
It was the panko crusted fish.
And look at this. I mean, look at this. Now, I forgot to take out the jalapenos. That was on me. First bite. They put this cilantro type of sauce in there. It's really, really good. Forgot to get a drink. Yeah, it's a fish taco. Look at that. It's nice. Also with the jalapenos. Again, that was on me for not taking the jalapenos out. That is not on that. And it still gives the taste of the jalapeno, which is good, because I actually like, as I said, the taste. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one's losing its integrity. Gotta hurry up. I'm gonna go 8.5 with tacos. I knew that was gonna be about what they were gonna be. Very good tacos. The thing about Maya Rosa is they do tacos, they do smash burgers, and I think that's it. Tacos, smash burgers, one more thing I think. But whatever they do great. It's kind of like that band that's actually really good at different genres. That's these guys. So yeah, shout out to Miguel and the guys over at Maya Rosa and the ladies. There was a time where Sanford didn't have a single smash burger. Now there's at least 4. I think 5, but at least 4. So I'm gonna try the Maya Rosa smash burger during the smash burger series of food reviews. I'm gonna have to do a taco one too, because we have a couple of really good taco places in Sanford. This one's so good though. They know how to make their meat, dude. They know how to make their meat. And now for the plank? I don't know what it's called. Voiceover, say it again.
It was the panko crusted fish.
This looks so good. Oh, it looks crunchy. Here we go, fish taco. Here we go. I'm gonna go 9 for the taco, for the fish taco. Wow, very good. Holy crap. Oh yeah. Oh my God. This might be my favorite taco that Miguel makes over at Maya Rosa. Wow, so good. And there's like a sweetness. It's breaded in, is it coconut? What is going on here? It's amazing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy 3 of these next time. Oh my God. I'm going 9 with the taco. This fish taco, so good. Great job, Maya Rosa. 8.5 for the beef, 9 for the fish. You guys, wow, that fish taco. New favorite thing on your menu. I don't know, the smash burgers are very good too. I don't know, you have a lot of good stuff. This concludes the Sanford Sit Down Food Review, episode 3? 3. This is episode 3. Episode 3. I'm losing count already. This is not good. I'll see you next time.
Where in Sanford should we go next? Let us know in the comments. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Little Cory Wong. I don't know if you know about that Cory Wong. But I love that Cory Wong. It's that Cory Wong. Anyway. So that concludes the show, man. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for listening, whether you're doing it live or you're doing it the recorded way. We appreciate you. As far as the next show, it'll be again in a few weeks. But until then, make sure and follow us, Sanford Sit Down, on all the socials. You can also follow me on social media at DJZOUAIN. Both things are on your screen right now. You should check it out. Follow me on all that socials. And I'll catch you next time. My next podcast that I'm going to do is The Hijack, which is more of a national news and current events and whatever I feel like show, but less concentrated on Sanford and more national and international. It's called The Hijack. You should follow that too. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.